Hey, thought I'd share an innovation I came up with. This is my portable MFT. It works great in the shop and also in the field for cross-cutting material. I think it works with more precision than a miter saw. It is especially geared for cutting plywood and sheet goods that are beyond the capacity of a miter saw, which in my case is typically 12 inches. It works off the MFT grid, which is 20 millimeters, 96 millimeter on center. And because you're not registering your fence or rail off the outer perimeter of an MFT, but you're using the actual holes, wherever you put the fence and the rail, you're going to end up with a precise crosscut. So the only limitation of using an MFT like this with this kind of hardware is that you are limited by whatever the space is between the two outermost holes that you're registering off. In my case, that's about 35 inches. Now for, a base cabinet or something like that, that might be fine. But there are times in the field where I want to use this type of a setup to cross-cut and dimension sheet goods for things like raised panels or flat panels in tall wainscot applications. So I might have a wainscot section that's 5-6 feet tall, something like that, and I need to break down sheet goods. And if you've ever tried to break down sheet goods in the field, you know that that is not an easy thing to do. You need a table. You need some sort of parallel edge guides to do it precisely. Of course, you can always just measure and lay down your rail and make your cut. That's fine if you're making one cut, but what if you're batching a bunch of cuts? Anyway, I wanted to come up with a better solution than just one by one cutting them with a rail and clamps. And so what I figured out was I could take my assembly table, which I periodically take with me onto a job site. It's a Bora platform that's 4 foot by 8 foot, and I have a piece of 4 by 8 MDF that I've cut holes in for handles and for clamping. I've already got it, so I didn't have to spend any additional money. And by using the MFT top itself, which I unscrewed from the frame and I clamped down to my assembly table, I was able to bore the holes all the way across the side, the short side at the top for my fence. And then I ran a row lengthwise to be able to position my rail wherever I needed it. The beauty is the only thing it costs was $8 for a 20 millimeter Forstner bit, which I picked up at my local Rockler. Everything else was free or that I already had. And since I'm reusing the fence and the rail, no additional charge there. Now, the great thing is I'm able to rip long material just under 8 feet with my existing table. And after checking the corners, I'm getting the same precision that I get off my MFT.